QATAR coming your way. Sam Lowe's on pole position for the 12th time in his intermediate World Championship career, with Ralph Fernandez and Bo Benchit this year. The Giannantonio, Navarro and Vietti, they go from row 3. Jake Dixon penalised 3 grid spots, and it's Chantra, Thom Luthi, the wily old experienced Swissman there in 17th place, ahead of the rookie Tony Arbolino. And a bit further down then we've got Hector Gartho, who's found the going pretty difficult this weekend, and Lorenzo Baldassare, 26 on the grid.
The shortest odds in Grand Prix racing on Sam Lowe's here today to win this race. That's how good he picked up. There is Bo Bendsneyder in second. And what of Joe Roberts as well for the Italian? How does he start the season? And Marco Bezzecchi as well.
Yeah, 3 names when you go around the paddock and ask for your pick 2020. Remy Gardner, the Australian, who of course now part of the vastly experienced Akiyoshi year. Just the 7th Australian to win in the Moto2 World Championship or the Intermediate World Championship.
It's popped. That's what I was thinking, Steve. Fabio, you're no stranger to winning races, including in this class, Moto2. What do you think it's...
That cold and that wind, so will be important the first laps, especially turn 2. Feels like then try to warm up the tire really well, but yeah, especially today is a lot cool today, so I think it's quite open.
Fabio, thank you and best of luck in your race.
Thank you.
Thanks to Fabio. Then lining up on pole, looking for his 7th intermediate class win at Grand Prix level.
In an opening Grand Prix weekend a long time ago now, then can Sam Lowe's end that long barren run? Fabio changed the goalpost here a little bit.
Took a bit of a while there for all the riders to make their way onto the grid spot. Moto2 2021 is go. Good start there from Bo Bendsneyder. Not such a great start. Number 72 goes through. It's Bendsneyder in second and Lowe's third.
Brilliant launch by one Italian, Marco Bezzecchi, a shocker by...
Struggled in these opening laps. He was wide through turn 2, so he's lost a bit of ground early on. Jake Dixon's made a good start from 10.
Dixon getting the gloves off early on here as well.
Here we go, a move. The door was open. Sam Lowe's takes it straight through at turn 6, number 25. The best of starts from the line, but he's still in contention.
Now the question mark for Jake Dixon, been able to do about 4 or 5 laps in a row this weekend, so this is an unknown territory for him. 20 laps of the Grand Prix. Joe Roberts retaliated
a moment ago. Immediate retaliation there from Gardner, though. Back on Roberts.
That's nicely done as well by a rookie, Celestino Vietti. In on Marco Bezzecchi at the end of this opening lap in Moto2.
Will be Bezzecchi who leads across the line from Lowe's, Bendsneyder, Fernandez and Jake Dixon.
It really didn't take long. 3rd place from Bendsneyder with the slipstream. He does punch a pretty big hole in the air, doesn't he, Bo Bendsneyder? He's well over...
It's like he's been in this championship for just years and years and years. It's incredible, isn't it? Now, who's this? It's Marcos Ramirez, and that's not the biggest surprise we've seen. He's a... That's very true. Sam Lowe's here. Will he go through? The door was open, but he thinks better of it at turn 6. Jake Dixon, who's made up 5 places from the start.
Impressed with Celestino Vietti, as we mentioned in qualifying last night. He started night. He's going...
Sorry, Marcos Ramirez there, making the right call, I think. It's going to take these guys a couple of laps just to see any major lap times coming in just yet, as they all settle into this race in Moto2. It is
He's up into the top 6 again, so it's been a really strong recovery from the Italian there on the 21 bike, just tucked in behind Honor Fausto Gresini's memory bike, continuing MotoGP next year. Will it be on an Aprilia or a Suzuki?
Across the line. Leads as well.
Yeah, the slipstream has helped Sam Lowe's there behind Marco Bezzecchi. The headwind blowing right in the face of Bezzecchi. And into Sam Lowe's, just where he wanted to be early on here in Qatar. He's hit the front of the pole man.
After taking a few knocks, KTM colours.
Yeah, the quickest man of the top 5 was the rookie Ralph Fernandez, a 59.89.
An excellent effort, isn't it? Really, really is. Cameron Beaubier, by the way, if you're wondering, on his
bike lengths between them as they sweep through turn 9 for the 3rd time of asking.
That was a lovely, lovely move from Remy Gardner on Fabio. Was putting in 58s for fun, wasn't he? If he can do that here, it will be bye-bye Sam.
He did his best time of the test. He's just eased up the inside of Marco Bezzecchi in the braking zone for the first corner. Straight away, Lowe's has decided to...
Second place, Bezzecchi seems to be having more trouble containing Ralph Fernandez at the moment, the number 25 rookie. Bezzecchi, look at this, the
Beautiful.
rookie up the inside, fantastic move.
Perfectly executed move, set it up in the slipstream, and then just he started to put the hammer down. He got down to a 59.895. That was almost 0.6 of a second quicker than Bezzecchi.
chases down Marco Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi maybe just struggling a bit on this lap. Two have got history. They challenged each other in Moto3. They challenged each other in the Red Bull Rookies Cup as well. Sam Lowe's then it is that lead.
Nice,
oh, it's going well wide there.
Oh, you've got to be careful
really
now.
Deep.
He's right out on that dirty, dusty part of the circuit, Remy. You can see the Sam Ray. Thankfully, on that dirty, wide line, he was able to keep it sunny side up.
Just the tiniest of errors. Number 21.
Yeah, that might have just prolonged the agony for Marco Bezzecchi, because Gardner will quickly regroup here. Bezzecchi he's nearly in Bahrain at the Formula 1 race.
Across the line we go then to complete the fourth lap. And
another PB lap from the Brit, 1:59.747. To be fair to Fernandez, he was only a couple of tenths slow, comfortably keeping Marco Bezzecchi at arm's length behind him as well.
Further back there, good job from Somkiat Chantra. Nice
ring one last August, so yeah, he was due a decent ride.
Remy Gardner's getting a bit desperate here, isn't he?
On the gas coming out of turn 6.
He's always a bit lively on the rear tyre.
Yeah, he's always a spectacular watch.
British fans will be pleased to see Jake Dixon in there as well, although it's the latter stages of this race. I think those are really going to hurt Dixon. With Bezzecchi.
Yeah, Jake Dixon did not do the testing kilometres anything like those around him. Like we said, I mean, the doctors, when he went with the knife, I mean, that wrist was completely smashed to smithereens in that Valencia crash, 50%.
It really did, didn't it? He's about to lose this position, though. Remy Gardner in the slipstream, on board with the Aussie now. He's going to just holds on for now to fourth place.
Sam Lowe's lost half a second on that last lap. Pulled him straight back up because Fernandez did a PB lap of 59.710. Fabio the Giannantonio, who we just saw out on the loose.
So Gardner is through and up into fourth place. Perhaps he'll be encouraged to see that Sam Lowe's has lost some time.
First time this year for the pair of them, and people keep saying, oh, well, you know, let's see what they can do on the best motorcycle. Well, they're showing.
Aaron Canet, yes, he didn't qualify well, but he can't quite get going. He's outside the points. Augusto Fernandez.
Here for the hugely likeable Italian, 24 years of age now. It's not getting much better at the start of 2020.
The gap to Raul Fernandez is back to 0.4 of a second. Our eyes now drawn to this battle for third.
But he got him way too hot and ran wide. We wanted to make sure second time around he makes it stick and then can start getting his claw, because straight away he's just done yet another PB lap. His last 4 laps have been either a 59.8, 59.7 or a 50.
Gardner, any opportunity he gets here, if the door opens, he's through to third. Dixon just...
The man in the top 6 that's not able to break into the 59s at the moment. Totally understandable, of course, given the lack of training he's been. DC Motor around a very physically demanding fast circuit like this Qatar venue.
A move from Akiayo, and he is holding his own.
Gardner's just got to be patient here and bide his time. You can clearly see he's much quicker. All offline here, so you've got to make sure that your moves are inch perfect.
Yeah, and also you can lose so much time.
Yeah, overtake, and you do run wide, then it means you've got to try and recover the time. That means you're going to have to stress the tyres that little bit more.
Now into the slipstream.
Bezzecchi at least knows he's there, that's for sure.
But again, on the start-finish straight,
as he got close to Bezzecchi, and that just cost him that little bit of drive. Oh, it gets even worse for Lorenzo Baldassarri. He was running, see him walk away if he does cut a somewhat dejected figure in the desert.
Here comes Gardner up the inside.
You can see how much Bezzecchi was having to work to keep Gardner behind him. On that last lap, Bezzecchi did his fastest lap of the race.
For Marco Bezzecchi, he might be a bit concerned here that the Italian at the moment is out of the podium places. Further back, Dixon in trouble.
A really long championship. If he hasn't got the pace of the 3 men ahead of him, just try and make sure the next goal is to bring it home.
Still a lot of race left here. We're on lap 8. There are 13 to go. On board here with Jake Dixon. Now on board with the Californian Joe Roberts on the Ital Trans Kalex.
Speaking, in fact, he's at the moment right on the fringe of the point scoring place. On the last lap, he took Canet and Dalla Porta up to 6th.
So Roberts then is up now into 5th place.
Yeah, that little bit of lack of race experience on the Kalex up into 8th spot.
Celestino Vietti just fading here in his rookie race, and look at this, Remy.
Time in this Grand Prix, Sam Lowe's has stretched his lead to a second. Yeah, Gardner has to do this. If he's got aspirations of winning his first, to open up quite a significant advantage.
Yeah, and it was a block pass as well, Matt, which he had to pull off, which again will lose him a couple. He's gone through on Jake Dixon. So with 12 laps to go, Sam Lowes with a 1.3. Apart from when the lights went out, the start was a bit rocky. This is the crash for Lorenzo Baldassarre. Fortunately, has gone backwards and he's in the gravel trap.
Yeah, team boss there in the middle, Milena Kerner, out of this Grand Prix. A big high side for him in qualifying last night. Fractured his left wrist. He's out until Porto as well, Steve, because Sam Lowes, it's hammer down, big start. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix has just been set by the British rider. 59. Keep that buffer at 1.3 seconds.
You're right about that battle further back. Thom Luthi as well has made a couple of places up. The experienced Swiss rider, he's into 11th.
You talked about some already of the likes of Xavi Vierge, who's down in 14th place. Petronas Sprinter Racing were expecting him to take getting himself in the point scoring place. Is not going to cut it for the Malaysian team at all.
No, you're absolutely right. There'll be a few. Giannantonio goes through and sits up Joe Roberts. In the latter stages of races in Moto2 last year, few riders.
Luca Marini winning the Grand Prix. Led for so long, 3/4 distance, and his front tyre just dropped off a cliff, didn't it?
It did. Definitely has crashed out for the Flexbox HP40 team. Hopefully he's okay. Jake Dixon, since being the gap at the front, 1.4 between Lowes and Gardner.
Yeah, and there are two standout men at the moment out on circuit. 59.7 from Lowes, followed by a 59.8 from Gardner, so the advantage just gets eked. Andes, who at the moment is comfortably on course for a very, very impressive debut podium in Moto2. Bezzecchi behind him may well just be thinking, the rookie, his tyres might desert him towards the end of this race.
A couple of those are struggling in this race, but Raul Fernandez, I mean, whatever happens here, this is an outstanding. He's keeping and beating. These are guys that are destined for MotoGP soon. I mean, he's going to be one of them himself. He prayed for NTS in the last couple of days with Barry Baltas out injured as well and not set to return for at least a few.
We'll expect to see the 16-year-old Belgian back in action. Sam Lowes, then there's clear daylight here under the night sky, closed at 1.3 seconds, and Fernandez and the Giannantonio as well. They've got themselves back into those 59.
Yeah, Remy Gardner will face a bit of a conundrum in the latter stages of the race if this gap stays around a second. To have a 25-point head start.
Turn 2 for the race leader, Sam Lowes, safely negotiated.
For the big crash that pretty much ended his chances of winning the championship, he was unstoppable. 3 wins on the trot.
He had in him.
That's the big thing, isn't it? You know, it was against all the odds. He had to bat away quite a few.
And in this scenario last year, Steve, when he built up an advantage, he never looked like he was going to blow it.
Remy Gardner as well, an excellent opportunity now. He's on the sharpest machinery to show what he's got.
In 2005, 16 long years ago. Aussie fans, you've definitely got a new hero on your books.
I'm quite surprised, actually, that we've not seen a little bit more from the Italian in this race. And at the moment, he's been caught.
The race when the grip is going to start deteriorating. Whether that would be a factor, absolutely not. He's still doing 5th of over a second. Bezzecchi's got bigger problems coming behind him.
Yeah, absolutely right. There is Bezzecchi, there is the Giannantonio, the late Fausto Gresini.
And I just hope, with everything crossed, that Fabio the Giannantonio can see it through the checkered flag, because see the checkered flag, because this would be a huge morale-boosting top 5 for him.
A bit further back challenge for these guys, and it's Luthi in 11th, Vierge 12th, Vietti 13th, Chantra in 14th.
TB lap of a 59.8. That's around podium pace, but it's coming far too late for the German.
And we mentioned
Cameron Bobier. Well, he's just taken Augusto Fernandez for 15th spot on that previous lap. Well, in fact, you can see now
10.4, the fastest lap of the race for Remy Gardner, but the gap isn't budging.
Well, pre-weekend Sam, but Gardner is still piling the pressure on.
Sam Lowes will have his eyes glued, comfortable with that, but anything under a second and the Jaws music might start coming on.
You know, Bobier's in a cracking scrap. He's in a fight where he's going to be gaining so much experience from that heated battle.
The gap's just creeped up to 1.5 seconds. 25, the rookie in this class, at present in line for a Moto2 debut.
I've no idea. He's still able to hang on to the back of Joe Roberts and be fighting for a top 6 in this opening Grand Prix. When you think of everything...
A few days ago, Damien Bailey, they were planning before the start of this Grand Prix of not even doing any simulations until the race itself. Bendsneyder. They're ganging up behind him here. Number 64, Bendsneyder, the Dutchman. Still a good result for him if he can finish.
I wonder if Lowe's has made his crucial move. There's Fabio. What a ride for him. He's having a real good ding-dong here with August Licht at all in the Elfmark VDS racing team. Fabio will be thinking, do you know what, there's an 11th place here up for grabs. Caliber rider he is, he'd have definitely taken that. I was just about to say Lowe's may well have just started to make a decisive break. He was 3 ways, dirt track style, love it. Up the inside of Shonkiat Chantra, picked him up through turn number 6. That was also that one, speedway sideways from Cameron Bobier.
Superb. He's keeping excellent company. He has got prior Grand Prix experience from 125cc days. Oh no, is that Xavi Vieja who's gone?
Turn 10. He'd been dumped out of the point scoring places. Turn 10, a thoroughly miserable start.
Oh, Canet might have something to do with this. There's contact between 44 and 90.
Wow, Jake Dixon. On lap 16, the guy has just put in a 59.764.
He'll be thinking at the moment, can I get a top 6 here and get past Joe Roberts? Remy Gardner, has he decided that there's an unstoppable force at the front of this? He's not making any mistakes.
And Bezzecchi started to make inroads into the gap between himself and Fernandez. It's another brilliant move by Bobier on Fernandez. How many times have Fernandez and Bobier?
Sam Lowe's in control, 1.7 seconds clear of the Aussie, Remy Gardner. Can Raul Fernandez hold on? Moto3 Warriors. Just behind them, of course, another one in the shape of Ayagura.
There's not too many people in the Moto2 field that have that kind of speed at the moment. Shows you the kind of outstanding job that Fernandez a little bit as well. Fernandez has responded on this lap. He's been quick in sectors 2 and 3 to stretch it back up to about 8/10.
Della Porta, who's fading in this race now with 4 laps to go. By the way, Cameron Bobier is closing and about to try far away, but
brilliant. You know, he's got no experience of how these Dunlop tyres are going to behave at this stage of the race. Very little experience.
On the brink of history, he'd become the first ever rookie to take a podium in Moto2 debut. The last time it happened,
you know, Bezzecchi and the Giannantonio, they're not giving this one up. No further action. Yeah, it did look like a racing incident. There was room for Canet.
Antonio there, number 21, red and white bike, Federal Oil Gresini. Can't just sniff a 4th place. He might just be on a podium place.
Well, we're into sector 3, which on the last lap, Fernandez had the upper hand on the 2 men behind him, Bezzecchi and the Giannantonio.
There to Bezzecchi and Fabio de Giannantonio.
There's so many positives to take from this opening Grand Prix for number 72, Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi's picking up some pretty decent slipstream here as well. There's going to be a headwind bashing into the front of Ralph.
Nicely done from Marco Bezzecchi. He goes through on Raul Fernandez then. He's just being given the info. At all, Raul Fernandez out front. Sam Lowe's cruising at the moment, 2 seconds
behind you for 17 and a bit laps in a Moto2 Grand Prix. You've done an absolutely phenomenal job. And that's it.
Well, you're about to see what sort of a rookie he is, aren't you? Because is he the wise one that sits there, learns a bit and tries?
He's Remy Gardner. Sam Lowe's still 59.752 on an 18-lap old tyre.
2 corners ago, so unfortunately Raul Fernandez drops down a place. They like it in Gresini. That keeps him in the hunt for a podium.
And team boss Fausto Gresini, he'll be proud watching down on his man at the moment.
He's got to try and hunt down Bezzecchi. With 2 laps to go, despite the gap having just come down slightly, in control still is the Elfmark V.
Looked pretty comfortable once he hit the front after a couple of laps. Would it have been a different story had Remy Gardner perhaps not had? He'll be looking to exact revenge next weekend when we come back for round 2 here in Qatar. He's using a bit of nous here and a bit of experience because he's got himself back into 59s as well, just when he needed it, just when the likes
of this one as well. So the checkered flag will be made ready in a lap and a half.
Last lap, half a second slower than the Giannantonio. I'm not too sure that Joe Roberts is going to have anything for him, though.
That was Ayagura.
Well, track limits warning late on for Sam Lowe, so he's got to be pretty precise over the... So, well, that'll be flashing up on his dashboard, so he'll be well aware of it. This one's his house down at Gresini Racing.
So then we begin the final lap of the race in Moto2. Sam Lowe's track limits warning and de Giannantonio.
Advantage Bezzecchi through that tight first corner. De Giannantonio's at 6. That's where the Giannantonio is going to try and get really good rhythm here through turns 4 and 5. Speed through 5. Not quite close enough, is he?
On board with Bendsneyder in the final sector.
He was that close, he could have almost reached out and grabbed those famous locks flowing out the back of Bendsneyder's helmet.
This is coming somewhere.
Well, that's at turn 9, and Bendsneyder defended quite brilliantly. There was no way.
Brave, brilliant, great move from Fabio to Giannantonio. He takes third spot from Bendsneyder, but can he hold on to it?
Antonio, and a very, very emotional podium here in Moto2. Sam Lowe surely has it covered. He runs a tight defensive line. This is your winner.
Sam Lowe wins here in Qatar. A fantastic effort from him with Gardner in second. What about the battle for third spot for him? The Gresini team.
Incredible
what
scenes.
A moment.
Oh, what incredibly emotional scenes said. But those two men were in a different league tonight. Sam Lowe's in particular. What a way to kick off 2021. He's your first winner in Moto. The perfect tribute to his late team boss Fausto Gresini.
Fantastic work.
That was a class ride by Sam Lowe. Let's not forget, the last thing he was doing going into that Grand Prix was picking gravel on the top step of the podium, and he is the first British rider to win the opening Grand Prix in Venezuela.
And it's Sam's 7th win.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a